How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the one trade that I took on SPY. I had a really small winner. We'll jump into what happened and why. But before we do that, we're on the daily time frame here. A few levels that we were watching that came into play today were this 470.6, this 468.5, and then a pre-market low, as well as yesterday's low of the day. So we'll zoom into the 1 hour here. The first thing I noticed is that the pre-market low was the exact area that we had a bounce off of in the previous day. So the previous day's low was the pre-market low. I saw we got some pretty good reactions out of that. And I also happened to notice that we had this resistance trend line above us from yesterday's high, kind of going through the pre-market. Seeing this, I figured if we could hold this level here, what was yesterday's low and the pre-market low, if we could hold this area here, pretty good chance that we come up and test the upper area of this triangle, this resistance. I had this level here, this 470.5 or 0.6-ish, so that was a target as well. So to open the day, we had come down, set that pre-market low, come up and tested this level, and rejected pretty seriously off the open. Once we recovered, we had a bit of a fake out. We broke and closed below, immediately reclaimed this level, and started bouncing around in here. I took a call, and we will look at the 2 minutes here because it tells the story a little bit better in terms of where I entered and why. So I watched this come up and hold this level. We made a higher high on the day. We came down, we made a higher low. So we had this low, this high, we made a higher high, higher low. I also noticed we had this a bit of a flag. We broke out, and we broke out and set a new high as well. So a series of higher highs and higher lows. So when we came down in this area, I took calls. Now we did dip down here. This nearly stopped me out. My stop was this low right here. The reason being is if we had broken that low, we were no longer making higher highs and higher lows, but we had broken that trend and set a lower low. So that was my stop. We got extremely close in here. In fact, maybe that even got, maybe 1 cent off. But once we got down in here, we started to push back. So I held through this, which I'm glad I did. I was very patient with this trade. We came all the way up. We came right back down, tested this pre-market low again, and then rallied up. I took 470 calls down here at 469.26 or so. So those are slightly out of the money. Once we came up and hit 470, I sold one contract at 470. I placed my stop loss on my second contract, so I took 2 calls down here. I took 1 profit here, and I took my second. I left it as a runner and set a stop loss at break even. This candle broke me out, stopped me out at break even, which is pretty crazy because I entered down here. But this price action, this up and down price action over the course of however many minutes, from 7:56 we'll say to 8:18, 22 minutes or so, it destroyed the premiums. So I had a pretty good fill down here, but when we were up here, I was only up maybe a little less than 20%, and that was the contract approaching its own strike price. So my ultimate target was here. I wanted to take profit at 470, leave a runner, and try to hit this target. You can see that we eventually did. Based on setting a lower low, we never did that. So based on technical analysis, shoulda, coulda, woulda hold this until we hit my price target up here. That trade would have worked out really well. Thing being is I bought same day expirations. So lessons from this. The trade worked out well. Why? Let's break it back. Let's bring it back. Why did I feel good about this? I felt good about this because of the reaction that we had yesterday off this level, as well as the pre-market low setting off that level. If we take a look, the pre-market right before open, So yesterday, you can see how we reacted off that level. In the pre-market, you can see how we reacted off that level. So to me, seeing as though we had this area to watch above us, this resistance, to me, if we could hold this level, this was the next logical place to go. Come up and test this level or test this resistance. So seeing that, as well as, you can look on a 30-minute time frame as well. So on the 30-minute, you can see how we held it yesterday, held it in the pre-market. We're holding it as well in the morning. So all kind of larger time frames, smaller time frames. We had the flag break on the 2-minute. Didn't mean to do that. The 2-minute had the flag break and retest. So everything was looking good. Higher highs, higher lows. It did take a lot longer. I expected after this flag break and this higher high, I wanted us to come down and retest. That's why I entered. And I figured we'd have a bit more of a response. So you can see we kind of dipped back down below, rallied up, came back down before making that move up. So didn't get shaked out by this, or shook out. I didn't get shook out by this, which I'm proud of. I held through it. The only problem is I probably should have picked Monday's expiration. I think that would have one, allowed me to hold my runner a bit longer and not get stopped out for break even here. Like 40 cents above where I bought in, and would have allowed me to capture that full move. And I think some of this chop in here wouldn't have affected my premium so much if I had a little bit more time to work with on that option. So maybe a lesson to consider. I didn't expect us to kind of hang out around this level for so long. But nonetheless, something to remember is that if I'm looking on a larger time frame, I'm basing my trade off a larger time frame. It might take a little bit longer time to fulfill that trade. So maybe trading a couple days out to save myself a little bit on that theta. But nonetheless, the trade worked out really well. I'm happy to see that. Even though I wasn't able to capture that, I did want to de-risk by setting my runner to break even. I couldn't watch myself be in profit and then let my runner lose and end up, maybe taking a loss on the day. So that was something that I was not okay with. Once I had taken some profit, I wanted to de-risk completely and just let the contracts run if they run, let it get stopped out if it gets stopped out, So maybe the idea of this trade, I would give a solid grade. The execution, I held through some of this painful stuff in here in terms of, coming into the money, falling out of it. But nonetheless, held through, and the trade worked out. I wasn't able to see it to fruition, so maybe I'll give the execution a slightly lower grade on that. Throughout the rest of the day, you can kind of see not the greatest day for price action. We kind of had a lot of chop. We did get some moves, but between a lot of those moves, as you can see, even between this bottom, rallied up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it wasn't the smoothest. Unfortunately, I was looking for this flag break here on this higher time frame, and it looks like we might get it over the weekend, unfortunately, because that was ultimately what I was hoping to get today, is a break out of this flag and some bullish momentum and continuation upwards. Especially if there's huge push up, we get some consolidation, some squeezing of price, and then a breakout. I think that could lead to a really nice move to the upside, but I'm not sure that we'll capture it. I think that looks like something that might happen over the course of the weekend. So something to watch if it miraculously doesn't happen over the weekend, but it looks like it's about to. Yeah, that's all I got for you. One trade today. Took a little longer to play out. Not a huge profit on the day. Like I said, I only had profit from one contract. The other one was a break even. So happy to leave the week profitable. Happy to end the week on a green day, but still some things to learn and clean up. That's all I have for you. Thank you for watching very much. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so stop by next week and let's trade. All right. Have a great day. Peace.